Hey guys, I'm struggling with something and I just want to check in real quick and have this conversation because I don't know if you guys are struggling with anything like this, but here it is. By nature, I'm a little more soft-hearted. And my husband is thicker skinned, but he has a beautiful heart also. So now we have this 3-year-old boy and this 17-month-old girl, and I'm just seeing the differences in their personality. My daughter's very feisty. She is sassy if you get too close or do something she doesn't like. She hits you or she goes pfft. And my son is, he more or less follows the instructions, and he is very, you know, if she hits him, he'll cry. And I'm struggling because I was raised in the projects. And in the projects, unfortunately, you don't get to be soft-natured. But we don't live in the projects, you know what I mean? But the projects, in my mind, is an analogy for the world. You have to be able to stand up and defend yourself quickly. Like, my daughter doesn't even think twice. If you hit her, if you do something she doesn't like, yeah, she's at you. And my son is, you know, he's not. So he's been having situations where he is needing to have thicker skin, and he's not exhibiting thicker skin. So we were at the barbershop, and this 2-year-old little boy was like coming for him, you know, and he kept running behind my legs. And I'm standing there trying to act composed, but in my mind, I'm going crazy. So I began to text his dad, like, you need to get in here before I beat your son. It's a fear of mine for my child to have to experience the things in the world that I had to experience. And I really just don't know how, you know, not to. Sharif's whole thing is love, not war. But Sharif is very, very strong. He is a man of his word, and he knows how to defend himself in a situation. Like, Sharif doesn't back down from war. He just doesn't call for it. My son backs down from it, I'm seeing. And that was what I did when I was younger, you know, growing up. It was like fight after fight after fight after fight after fight in the neighborhood before I was like, yo, I'm not around for this, you know what I mean? And so now it's like I'm really aggressive and rambunctious, and quickly I try to protect myself. And I don't want to do that to him either, but I need him to protect himself in the world. So Sharif's been working out with him. Sharif is trying to get his competitive edge back up. So they work out, they do sit-ups, they do crunches, they do army crawls, and, you know, all this aggressive, no thank you, Saya, no thank you. And when Sharif is upstairs editing, I have been boxing with my son. I know that you guys are going to have really bad things to say about that, but I don't care. I care, but I don't, if that makes sense. I don't know what to do. I don't want to be the mom who has to rough her son up, because I don't want him to look at me or women in that way. Like, I'm mindful of that. But I also don't want a soft-natured boy going out here into the world, and until he's out of school, not able to protect himself or stand up for himself. And I'm just really struggling here, guys. I don't know what to do. I think his dad's technique is great, but I think that, like, our first kid is like, it's the first kid. He can't be he's a man. He's a man child. He can't be the dummy. He can't be the project. He can't be the, let's see if this works. And if it doesn't, you know, we don't learn it until he's like, you know, hung from a tree or worse, you know. What's worse than that? Worse than that is, you know, killing somebody and spending the rest of your life in jail. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't want to change his nature. My husband always says, don't be a sculptor. I don't want to sculpt my son, but I don't. I want to sculpt him. I don't know what I want to do. I don't want him to be weak. And I'm sitting here pondering cutting chicken, and I'm thinking, should I just let him be that way and I just, you know, work around his personality, or I don't know. I keep hearing Sharif saying, don't be a sculptor, don't be a sculptor, be a gardener, water him, you know, make what is in him grow. And I'm trying to do that, but I had a really tough time growing up, guys. I had a really, really, really tough time growing up in the projects. Like every day somebody was literally chasing me home. Literally, like I was running. Like running from people. And I still got bullied. I still get bullied. I've recently been bullied on Facebook. Like, I don't know what to do. Where Sharif, Big Sharif, he like, yo, he stands up for himself. You know, his chest out, ready for the war. So I don't know. Y'all help me out. Comment. Tell me what y'all think. My son is a leader, a natural leader, but I need him to have a little more fight in him than he has. So please really drop comments below, because Saya is a feisty little lion. She's not that sensitive. All right, thanks for listening.
I know Felicia's already told you about Sharif and her struggle with his sensitive nature. My son is not a physical fighter, right? But also, to be honest, he does not defend himself in a way that keeps him from being harmed. He's a vocalist. If somebody says something mean to him, he'll tell them, I don't like that. But that's just to the extent. If someone chases him, someone meaning a child that is 2 years old and smaller than he is, to a big kid, he'll run away. And that's alarming to me. You know, it's very alarming, because I don't want my son to become a young boy who is bullied at school. And I definitely don't want him to become a man that is scared of conflict, or if he has to be physical, because people do bring you physical harm. If he has to be physical, I need him to know how to defend himself and not to run away. I tell Felicia all the time, be a gardener, not a sculptor, right? We have to grow what's in our children and not chisel at them every single day of every single moment because of things that we see in them or behaviors that they're exhibiting that ultimately we don't like, because it brings up our own insecurities or things that we don't like about ourselves. I need Sharif to be good. I need him to be fine. I need him to know how to stand in his strength and just, you know, to be that dude. But it's causing a bit of a challenge for Felicia and I, our parenting. So what I've been doing is working out with him. You know, all the things that I'm sure she's already told you. And so I'm asking you too to drop your comments down below. I don't want to teach my son, if someone hits you, you hit them back, because then he could get in trouble too. You know, I remember one time I got into a fight with, and I've gotten into multiple fights, but I got into this one fight at school with this boy named Timothy. And I got into a fight with him because he was messing with this girl who I actually liked, but I found myself like the protector of the girls because I wanted them to like me. So anyway, he said something mean to her, so I got in his face and said, yo, don't talk to her that way. And Timothy pushed me and I pushed him back, and then boom, 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 like we started hitting one another. And although I did not cause the fight, I did not push him. I used my voice to protect somebody else, and he decided to hit me. So I defended myself. I got suspended. He got suspended for 3 days and I got suspended for 3 days. Or maybe he got suspended for 5 and I got suspended for 3. But bottom line is I got suspended and I missed out on work, and it was just this whole big dramatic scene only for me and this girl to, and like the next week or so we dated for like 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, it was just, you know, I don't want Sharif to get in trouble in school, because I know that they don't look at it as one child did the hitting so the other child is okay. They're like, both of you did it. One of you should have came to the teacher and told the teacher so the teacher can handle it. And hey, it's the other side. My mother, when I got suspended, she asked me what happened. I told her exactly what happened, and she said good, because if you would not have fought that boy, you would have got a whooping of your life, right? So my mother ingrained that in me. You don't let anybody hit you and you not hit them back, because if you don't hit them back, you're gonna deal with me. And I didn't want to deal with my mother. I didn't want to get whooped by my mother, you know, so I tried to whoop somebody else. I don't know if that's proper parenting or not. You know, we're still working this thing out. But what I do know is you go with how your child is. If clearly my son does not like fighting, he does not like it. When I try to fight with him, he'll do it a little bit, but when it gets a little bit too serious from him, he backs away. He starts to mope. He starts to cry a little bit, or he'll whimper. And I don't want to build that in him. I also don't want him to look at me like he fears me because I'm so strong. But I'm trying to find ways to get him to embrace his strength. So we work out. I do sit-ups with him. I do push-ups with him. I do burpees with him. I do army crawls with him. I do bear crawls with him because I want him to get in his head competition. If he gets in his head competition, maybe that competitive edge will bring out the physical in him that we need. Again, I don't want Sharif to go around fighting people, but I also, if a child hits him, strikes him, does anything to him, I need him to be able to protect himself. This last thing that just happened, Sharif was at school, and we told you guys before, somebody called him trash. Like, some kid called him trash. And then now, some boy yesterday sat on our son. He sat on our son. And our son got up and I guess he walked away or whatever. I don't even know how the boy got to the point that he sat on Sharif. But my son was sat on. That right there, no. We're not going to start being on the path of being bullied. So, although I do not want to teach my son, I don't want to teach him fight. I do need to instill in him defend yourself. But I don't know how to do it with a boy that does not like being physical. I have no idea what to do other than what I've already been doing, and that's making him work out so he can build his confidence in himself and in his physicality. My little brother was bullied, and I think that I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Blake so he could, I don't know, maybe he'll shine some light on a situation that I don't know about. I don't know. I need to call Blake. When Sharif shows people that he's not as strong physically as he is with his words, then those problems arise, like the boy is sitting on him and Sharif does nothing about it.
For me, I could relate to that because for a long time it took me a while to build that confidence up. Like I remember you would take me to the side and you would teach me how to build confidence in myself, how to try to be a bigger person, don't let anyone ever see the look on your face, be able to represent or know what you are, be able to get the upper hand because you never show your weakness to your opponent.
I'm really trying to think about what I'm going to do, because I remember with you, when I used to give you advice or what have you, sometimes I would be soft, but most times I wouldn't. I would be kind of, hard on you. I don't know what that did to you with me doing that. I don't know if that broke you down. I don't know if it helped. I'm not sure. I'm not even really sure if you remember how it made you feel. But
at first, yeah.
Go ahead.
At the beginning, I would be like mad at you, like, oh my god, like, why is he doing this way? Or like, why are you being all mean and stuff at me? And then I would be mad, maybe sometimes I would tell mom, like, what you mean to me. But it's still just, I guess looking back at it, I appreciate everything that you did, but I noticed, like, that hard nature at first, you may not understand why that person may be doing it, but then later on, you'll be looking back and say, wow, I really appreciate it. I'm grateful to have that talk.
Alright. Thanks, Blake, dude. I appreciate it, man. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, bye.
The one pro to not fixing your clocks when the clock springs forward is this. When you look at your stove and it says 7:08 and you're like, just one more hour, gods of children, until my babies have to go to sleep. And then you realize it's actually 8:08 and the sleep time is now. Woo woo, woo 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 woo. Peace. When something seems bad,
Turn it around
and make something good. Peace.
Blessings.
Peace.